Scattered as they were, they still kept track of each other faithfully and in a casual way looked after one another's needs. Wherever he was, a wolf seemed to know by instinct where his fellows were hunting many miles away. When in doubt, he had only to mount the highest hill and give the rallying cry, which carried an enormous distance in the still cold air, to bring the pack swiftly and silently about him. When a wolf, in his wide-ranging, found a good hunting ground where small game was plentiful, he would snap up a rabbit silently in the twilight and then go far away, perhaps to join the other cubs in a gambol or to follow them to the cliffs over a fishing village and set all the dogs to howling. Like all wild animals, they felt the coming of a storm long before the first white flakes began to whirl in the air. And when a great storm threatened, they would lie down to sleep in a cave or a cranny of the rocks and let the drifts pile soft and warm over them. However long the storm, they never stirred abroad, partly for their own comfort, partly because all game lies hid at such times and it is practically impossible even for a wolf to find it. 1905, Northern Trails. You were listening to Aaranya Susipetonen reading one of her favorite books. This excerpt is from The White Wolves Hunting, a chapter dedicated to the white wolves of Newfoundland. Why was Aaranya Susipetonen reading this particular excerpt from this book, Northern Trails, is because William J. Long is the second founder of the Phraston School. Since the MeriPelle house is kind of related to the Hufflepuff house, and it's my rendition, so this is the most animal-loving house and it has all the magi zoologists, it has all the healers, it has all the earthly elements. Moikka ja tervetuloa. This service project is dedicated to Fraser and Denver, my best friends of 17 years and fellow travelers who left their last scent, breath and paw prints in the wild rose country of Alberta. We co-discovered the Phraston School of Boundless Joy, which is a fictional story focused on the northern Canadian Cordillera. Note that everything herein is imaginary, with some dangling facts. Hope you enjoy the show. The reader who follows these trails will find them leading into a new country, a land of space and silence, away up among the mountains and woods and Salmon River and mossy barren grounds of Labrador and Newfoundland. He will find himself face to face with new animals: white wolf, fisher, salmon, wild goose, polar bear, and a score of others, big and little, that stop their silent hunting to look at the intruder curiously and without fear. A wild animal's life may indeed be far below ours, but he lives much in that pleasant borderland between thought and feeling where we so often find ourselves in our quiet moments, and there is no earthly need to make a mystery of him by talking vaguely of instinct, since so much of his life corresponds to our own and becomes intelligible to us the moment we lay aside our prejudice or hostility and watch him with a patient and friendly interest. I make no claim whatever that animals reason or think or feel as men and women do. I have watched them too long for that, and sitting beside the beavers' village in the still twilight of the wilderness, I find enough to occupy eyes and mind without making comparison with the unquiet cities of men far away. But here before me is a life to be understood before it can be described. A life, not an automaton, with its own joys and fears, its own problems and its own intelligence. And the only conceivable way for me to understand it is to put myself for a moment in its place and lay upon it the measure of the only life of which I have any direct knowledge or understanding, which is my own. So whether one looks for the facts of animal life or for the motives which govern it, the reader may follow these trails as I first followed them, with the idea of seeing with his own eyes and understanding with his own heart. He will see many things that he does not understand, and so will listen, and he will find at the end of every trail a real animal, as true to life as I am able to see and describe it after many years of watching in the wilderness. William J. Long, Stamford, Connecticut, January 1905. Northern Trails.